For some reason, this episode didn't record, so we're just gonna present Kali's audio, and hopefully this makes sense. We'll keep looking at our equipment and figure out what's going on, but we will see you all for the next episode.
Well, it's nothing as exciting as that. We're going to talk about the TSA. They say that medical marijuana can fly. Well, sort of. The TSA quietly updated its website recently to clarify that medical marijuana is allowed in carry-on bags and checked luggage, at least under certain conditions. Okay. So before everybody starts packing gummies into their into their chargers, experts say that there's still a major catch. Airport rules may be one thing, state laws are another. So it looks like the states have not caught up to the airports. The update came after federal agencies moved certain FDA-approved cannabis products and state-regulated medical marijuana into a lower drug classification category, recognizing some medical use at the federal level for the first time. So, in practice, experts said TSA agents haven't really focused on small personal use of marijuana cases for years, especially in states like California, where cannabis is already legal. But TSA made it clear that officers still have the final say at checkpoints, and local law enforcement can still get involved depending on where you're traveling. For example, flying from California to Nevada with properly labeled medical marijuana may be fine. But if you're flying to a state like Texas, then that can bring on a different conversation when you land, right? So the law experts advise travelers to keep the products in original packaging, carry medical documentation, and understand the laws of both departure and destination state. So bottom line, if you're going to travel with marijuana in the States, outside of keeping it in, it's properly labeled packaging and things like that, be sure the state that you're landing in is also okay so that you won't run into any problems. California looks like it's no problem at all. California to Nevada, no problem. But like they said, California to Texas, yeah, might be a problem. I first saw this pop up on the news in Florida. So I guess Florida is kind of being a little bit more lenient. So if you're out there in Florida or plan to travel to Florida, check there as well for the TSA to make sure you don't run into any problems, because whatever you do, you want to leave, but you want to make sure you get back home. So you don't want any issues with that. But I'm surprised it's actually taken this long, because I mean, you have, how can I say it? I guess it's not legal everywhere, so maybe not the fact that it's taken so long, but the fact that it's been lowered, as far as like, let me go back up. Let me look at my note here. So it's been recognized for medical use at the federal level, and it's been regulated as a lower drug classification. I don't know why they would not allow it to be legal as far as as long as you're flying within the states. Who knows? I know that some people, they're probably very happy though. Very, very happy. So that's what I got as far as the medical marijuana. So all you weed smokers who like the chief, check your flights. Yeah, and they also added here that recreational marijuana still has not been federally approved for flights. So it looks like they are really focused on medical marijuana, and you got to make sure that it's labeled and you have your documentation. I don't know if people get a weed card, a marijuana card. I don't know what what they would need to carry, but yeah, recreational marijuana still is not federally approved for flight. So make sure you have all of your documentation and labels intact. All right, before you get a drug charge. These AI data centers, have you heard about that? The AI data centers that are popping up everywhere. Okay, so as AI companies race to build more data centers across the country, local communities are increasingly fighting back, arguing the projects may be creating more strain than benefit. According to researchers and policy experts, more than 4,000 data centers are already operating in the US, with thousands more planned as demand for artificial intelligence growing. Who is demanding it? I don't know. Anyway, these facilities are basically giant warehouses filled with servers powering AI tools, cloud storage, and massive computing systems. Tech companies say the centers create jobs, strengthen infrastructure, and help America stay competitive in the global AI race. But critics said the reality on the ground looks very different. Residents in several states complained about skyrocketing electricity demands, heavy water usage, environmental strain, and rising utility bills tied to these facilities. All right. So it's basically saying, it's also saying that some of the largest facilities reportedly consume as much as hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of homes combined. Like all of the, imagine, some of these facilities reportedly consume as much energy as like up to millions of homes combined. And critics have argued that the taxpayers, are footing the bill or part of the bill through the state tax breaks and incentives designed to attract tech investment. So it's like the conversation is not even about AI anymore. It's now more about land, water, energy, and basically who's going to foot the bill. California PG&E or gas and electric is ridiculously astronomical and as everything else here in California. But there's been word that's saying, oh no, the tech companies are going to carry the strain. No, they're not. I would like to see it. It's not going to happen. That's why the conversation is being had at this time. We're still my goodness. And the fact that these companies are saying, oh yeah, they always throw this out here. Oh, the tech companies are saying it's gonna create jobs. When? Because in the meantime, people are looking at the rates on their bills increasing while the jobs are still laying off. Meta, that's just an example. I'm just saying, they're not the only one. I'm just saying that, the tech companies are steadily laying off. What, they laid off 7,000 people, or they're laying off 7,000 people. It started this month. And then did they keep 3,000? What is it? I forgot. Let me look it up so that I won't be misquoting anything, because I know they laid off thousands and then they kept thousands whose jobs are going to be repositioned for AI. They are laying off about 8,000 people. Okay. And there we go. Okay. So they're laying off 8,000 people, and another 7,000 employees will see their roles change as a part of an AI pivot. So to focus more on AI, they are moving 7,000 people to teams that focus on AI projects. So 8,000 just lost their jobs. And then 7,000 positions will be moved, focusing more on AI roles. So the fact that what we're talking about with these AI data centers that are popping up and tech companies are saying it's going to create jobs. Well, I guess we'll see. But I bet you the job creation is not going to offset the bill that everybody's footing every month. No, water bill, internet bill, all of that. Yeah. I told you my stuff, it wasn't as exciting as Danhausen. Wait a minute. Wait. This is not the guy that did some. Is he the same guy that just recently caused a stir in Hollywood, and they're trying to keep it how can I say it? I'm going to say keep it under wraps, but they don't want to recognize it because it's outdoing Hollywood. Oh, he did it again? What? See? Man, that's what I just said. I just said it. I'm going to say it again. It is crazy how things are catching a vibe. The vibe, the way things have always been is completely changing. It's completely changed. Like traditional everything, traditional media, completely changing. New media has taken over. modern media, whatever a person wants to call it, the way people are making movies and being seen. You don't have to go to Hollywood and get these big budgets. It's not requiring any of that. And it's really knocking people out the box. I see Vulture talking about it. It says audiences obsess over obsession. How a YouTube director turned obsession into one of 2026's biggest box office surprises. God, look, I just looked at it. I'm looking. That's exactly. I was trying to zoom in on it. Let me see. Yeah, it's LA. Yeah, it's LA. The area code 323. Yeah, that's why I said it looks very LA. Wow, that's crazy. But you know what? The sign literally goes with the theme of the word obsession, because it starts off with just like, hey, like very nice, and then the the writing on the billboard, the next day you see a little bit more, and it's like it starts to become frantic, because now it's like the billboard is just filled everywhere, big writing, little writing, scribbling, scratching out. It looks like a person that's like kind of going crazy because they haven't heard from somebody. This is insane. I like it. I like it. I actually I don't know. I was going to say I kind of like how things are changing in that regard, because there's been so many gatekeepers for a trillion years. There's been so many walls and things that you had to go through, and with the help of social media, it's you have the ability to go around all of the red tape, all of the rigmarole. If you have access to the funds that you need and access to the equipment that you need, all you need is an audience. All you need is audience. This is great. The billboard is crazy. That's a crazy idea. That's crazy. I think that's perfect marketing for the movie, though. The way that billboard is sitting, I think that's is. Yeah, if you're in LA, you're downtown LA, you're gonna see it. And so that you don't get confused, get confused, put in YouTube director obsession. So because there's a couple of other movies that have come out, obsession, with that same name. So yeah, that are older. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm done. All right. Talk to you next week. Bye.
Well, there you go. So, not sure what happened with the audio, but essentially, we were talking originally about how Danhausen is doing this whole curse thing with the Knicks, of causing the Knicks to be able to get to where they're getting, and somehow our entire broadcast got cursed. So, I wasn't even able to salvage that part. But even the obsession thing, technically, I guess, has to do with curses and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully, we have this all figured out next episode.